Hello and welcome back. Hope you're coming back. Hope you have this on your calendar. Welcome back to another inspiring episode of the Achieving Unity Success Formula. It's our weekly podcast where we turn chaos into connection and purpose into action. I'm your host, Mark Intrican, and today's episode is about the Achieving Unity Success Formula, making life better through encouraging, inspiring, and including others. Today's guest is Vicki Mizel, a truly transformational teacher and expert in memory and brain health. And everybody knows I need that. With an impressive 25 years of experience, Vicki is renowned for her ability to empower individuals, break mental barriers, and unlock their full potential through her innovative brain spout memory system. Get ready for an engaging and insightful discussion that will leave you inspired to enhance your cognitive function and achieve both personal and professional success. But first, before we engage into this insightful discussion, let me quickly introduce you to my company, Reality Focus Dynamics, where this all began. On the slide, I hope you see there, it's my gift to you. Please check out the QR code on the left and get a copy of my Achieving Unity Guide. It talks about the unity and the power of encouraging, inspiring, and including others. Get off the negativity. Stop finding the wrong. Build forward and get the Achieving Unity Guide today. Our Achieving Unity Success Formula, and we are on our weekly podcast number 44, started back in September of last year. It's been an exciting journey. Again, it is every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Put it on your calendar. Let us know. Go out to our site, markintrican.com/podcast. Put it on there. Put it down for every week. Would love to see you. Would love to hear from you. And this is live. It is being recorded to the cloud. So it will be posted in not Facebook, in YouTube. So you'll be able to see this at any time, and then you'll be able to get in contact with myself or Vicki and receive a copy, or just watch it on the web. We'd love to have you on there. Success focused solutions, reality focused dynamics. On the slide, you'll see our logo here. It truly represents the heart of what I do. Notice how focused sits right in the center. That's because everything that we explore from reality focused dynamics to success focused solutions, again, not looking at the wrong, it all revolves around clear, intentional direction. We must be focused. In fact, the idea of focus is so central to us. It's even built right into our business phone number, 303-362-8733, which spells 303 focused on your phone pad. We believe that by truly focusing on what matters, not bouncing on other kinds, not bouncing off the wall, multiple walls, not keeping up with what you're doing or where you're going or who means the most, we can create meaningful change and achieve lasting unity. Reality focused dynamics equals success focused solutions. We have proven compassionate strategies that turn conflict into lasting harmony at home, at work, and in every relationship that matters, personally and professionally. Are you ever frustrated by tension or arguments? Our 7 step roadmap gives you the tools to move from conflict to collaboration quickly and confidently. Craving stronger trust, better connection? Discover communication tactics that build respect, repair relationships, and unify teams and families alike. Transform conflict into connection, together, achieving unity. Unity inspires us in our homes. Unity shapes society. Unity transforms workplaces. We help you turn that frustration into understanding. I'm sure sometimes we just want to say, what the frustration? Okay, maybe that's not the word that we think about when we say that, but we can find value in our actions. Instead of reacting in anger and frustration, it's not about fighting. Fighting is foolish. We show that anger holds no value. Anger is just actions not gaining effective results. ANGER. Actions not gaining effective results. Life happens in every relationship, from personal to professional. But again, we're talking about life. We're talking about things that we are not in control of. Life happens, but it doesn't happen wrong with the things that we are in control of unless we want it to. From parenting time to partnerships in the boardroom to the bedroom and every room in between. We show you how to embrace those challenges and encourage a more inspired and inclusive future. That acronym EII is a major subject that we just talked about over the last 10 weeks in our newsletter. Show you the link to that. One vision, one goal, achieving unity in every area of life. The choice is ours. Call to action? What is our call to action? Well, first off, let's ditch the drama. Let's ditch that drama. Let's get stuff done. We'll show you how to turn your life from what may seem like a dumpster fire to a well-oiled machine, focusing on what matters. Achieving unity, the path to stronger relationships, inspired leadership, and lasting change. Coaching, consulting, courses, and keynote speeches. Let's talk. Contact us today. You see, I have multiple domains, so come out there and see me. Come out there and talk to us. We'd like to hear from you. RealityFocusDynamics.com, RealityFocus.com, AchievingUnity.com. We're here for you. Or just call us, 303-362-8733, 303-FOCUSED. Focus on getting better. Our next podcast coming up. Again, this is weekly, live. So bring questions each week. On 7/23, July 23rd, Dr. Ali Langford comes as he's known as Dr. L. He's going to talk about the 4 keys to optimizing your brain potential. That'll build on what we learned this week with Vicki. Next week, week after, July 30th, we have Tiffany Kellogg. She's going to talk about knock your socks off, living as a mom without children. A lot of us don't think about that. It's another aspect of mothers, and parenting. Then next week, if we can, Lori Sheridan, I think she's come up with a conflict. We may have someone else come, but we love Lori. She talks about some great things. You still look her up on the internet. I'll let you know more about that next week. Then on August 13th, Jamie Martin, silence doubt and start living your life on your terms. It's your life. Choose. Don't let other people make decisions for you. Come back. Let's listen to Jamie. And then August 20th, Julie Lithgott-Hames, How to Raise an Adult Child. We need to talk about that and see how that works and how that goes and how we can learn more about raising children and understanding differences in that whole process. But now, the moment of the day. This is what I've been waiting for. Now, I've talked to Vicki several times on the phone, and we've talked back and forth on email, but today we're going to talk about the memory, the mindset, and unlocking our happy genius. Yeah, all of us. The memory mentor. Vicki Mizel is a memory and brain health expert. She's a speaker, creator of the Brain Sprout memory system. Known as the memory mentor, she's a passionate advocate for mental resilience and cognitive empowerment. With over 25 years of experience, Vicki has helped thousands improve their memory, boost self-confidence, and overcome mental blocks. Her proven techniques are used to promote healing, sharpen focus. There's that word again, focus, and unlock what she calls the happy genius in everyone. She delivers inspiring keynotes and practical workshops that make science simple. Yes, make science simple because they're engaging and they're life changing. Vicki continues to teach others how to rewire their thinking, get off those cultures of the past, rewire their thinking, and believe in their potential, believe in your potential, and live with the clarity and confidence that you have within you. Please help me welcome Vicki Mizel. Hey,
Hi, thank you
Vicki.
so much. That's a beautiful opening.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So many people have brought so much to my life, and I can just see you doing the same thing because there is so much that we don't think about at times that is so important. And it's just as simple as being able to talk to people that know a little bit more than we do, that are an expert like yourself in what we do and what you do. And Vicki, I got to tell you, you've got this amazing track record yourself. I'm amazed in you and what you do.
Oh, thank you.
25
That's so
years.
sweet. Thank you.
Oh, I mean it, bottom of my heart. 79,000 participants. What first sparked your passion for empowering people? What sparked your passion in helping them unlock their own potential?
Uh, what really happened was I learned this memory system in an hour when
Wow.
back in 1981 I learned the first lesson and I was substitute teaching and I went in the classroom and I was able to teach the kids what I had just learned. And then what I noticed that instead of the end of the day being tired of being with kids all day, I felt enlivened and excited. And then as the weeks went on and I learned more and more, as a substitute teacher, you don't have control of the classroom. You don't know their names. They're always playing tricks on you because the regular teacher's not there. So I said to the kids, listen, I learned this memory system. I want to go around and just see if I can memorize your names. And I ended up being able to memorize all the kids' names. Then at
Wow.
the end of the class, they applauded me. So I thought, well, that's encouraging. I'll do it again. So I did it the next class and the next class and the next class. And then what I noticed was I started seeing little pictures in my mind to help me remember their names. So I made the name a picture. And so from practicing the method, and then within a year, I ended up becoming a consultant in the school system in San Diego as the memory consultant. And this was the one that really made a difference. I was hired for 5 years. I did 120 memory lessons in 60 different schools. So I'd go in
Wow.
and teach the basic method. Then the next day I would teach them a method called the sounds like, or I'd teach them large amounts of information that can help them use key words to help remember the main ideas of things. So it helped them with their writing, it helped them with their test taking. And after 5 years of it, my brain had changed, completely changed. I could write better. I could read with better comprehension. I got braver at things that I didn't know how to do that I tried to do, like writing children's books, decided to be a therapist, wrote a book. And then I thought, well, I really want to act. So I was able to then memorize the scripts with acting. But the real key, the real thing was the lights were going on in the brain. And I knew the brain was regenerating. And at that time, back in 1980, 83, literally to 1998, I knew the brain could regenerate. But doctors said, oh,
Wow.
no, no, they can't regenerate. Science says it can't regenerate. I said, look, I'm having experiences. My students were having experiences. Started working with older adults, even Alzheimer's people. They started improving.
Wow.
And that's when I knew in my heart that this is my destiny. What I feel is if I can turn on everyone's brain and they have then the brain fluid, the juice to be able to focus, to be able to see the vision of what they want to see happen, to be able to manifest their best self, their best life. Uh, the world would be different. We'd have a really happy, blossoming world if everybody chose the thing they really wanted to do and had the confidence to do it. So
Uh,
it was just amazing. Every time I'd use it, I'd have success.
that is amazing. And as I hear you talk about that, I think about the people that I coach and deal with and speak to that, oh, wait a minute, that's work. You're talking about memory? Wait a minute, you mean I have to work for this? But yet I'm hearing you say it's pretty easy.
Yeah. So the old attitude of memory was those spelling tests we had every single Friday. So you
Yes.
have to get the definition, you have to look up the definition in the dictionary. You had to write it out, you had to repeat and repeat and repeat, memorize, repeat. And the minute you passed the test, you had no memory as to what was going on. You just knew you had to pass the test.
That was my whole college career. Yes.
So memory usually is equivalent to boring, repetitive, and no fun. What's different about this is like if you take your 5 things, and you turn them into pictures, and when you have something visual, something in motion, and something unusual, and you connect it all together, it helps with having literally outstanding recall. So if we look at focus and how do we make a picture of focus? So immediately I could see either a pair of glasses or more ideally, um, one of those telescopes, right? Because you're looking at the stars and then for success, I would imagine a trophy, somebody winning a trophy. With this method, you would have me doing something creative or interesting with the telescope. Then I'd move out of the picture. Then you'd have a telescope with a trophy. Now, although a telescope can't do anything normally with a trophy, if you animate it, you bring these objects to life, then you could have the telescope uh, shaking and dancing with the trophy. I won, I won, I won, I won, I won, I won, I won. And then for reality, the first thing that comes to my mind would be reality TV. So the trophy then, let's say, is turning on the TV or working with the remote or something like that on the TV. Solutions immediately, I think of science, like chemicals. So like a lab, one of those little lab jars full of some kind of solution. And the TV could be waiting or swimming in the solution. And then dynamics, it doesn't really naturally come as a picture. But if you think of Elvis Presley, right, he was really dynamic. So then the solution could be, let's say, falling on his hair. So now you've got these pictures, then you connect them with an action verb, and then you recall re-seeing the pictures. Then you'll have, you start with the telescope focus. What's the telescope doing? You see the trophy. What's the trophy doing? Turning on, jumping on the TV. The TV is waiting or swimming in the solution, and then the solution is, so anyone could make up different pictures. I made them up just for short of time. But usually if I'm teaching someone, I ask them, what do you see? What would you see what would you see for focus?
First thing I think of when I think of focus, I think of glasses because
Yeah,
I can see very well, but there's just times something is too small. And so I have my set of reading glasses. They're close
yeah,
to me, so
that's
that's where I use
that's
it for focus.
perfect, perfect. And then what would you see for success? What picture would come to your mind for success?
Jumping up and down, hands in the air, waving, that's success. Somebody has won something. Somebody has succeeded somewhere.
And then, well, how could you see it as a symbol? Would you see a trophy or a ribbon or a gold medal, something like that?
Great question because I always like the action. So I'm still for the person jumping. I think the person hands in the air would be that success for me.
Okay, so you could do that, and even you could make it a person or even a statue.
Could be.
So you could have, then what would you see the telescope doing to the success model? That's an action verb.
If I were to see a telescope with an action model, the telescope to me says something's a long way away. It wouldn't be something I would see of something close, like something that I've won. So if I wanted it to be that focus, I would do something like the pair of glasses and then the jumping up and down. I don't know where I would, I don't know if I
Oh,
could use
sorry,
the
that was
telescope.
mine. The telescope was mine. So I
Yeah,
made a mistake. I made a mistake. So
that's
the
okay.
what would you see the glasses doing with the person jumping up and down? Maybe we'll give them a gold medal as well.
I would see that it's possible. I can see that success is ahead. There is a light at the end of that tunnel, and I can reach it. I can see it.
So that's all great. So that's the memory system is really taking an idea, something, making it tangible. So let's say the glasses are um could be, like you said, it could be dancing, it's all excited with the success of the person jumping up and down and maybe a little trophy. So the idea
Hmm.
is you want to just take one item, link it to the next, then that's one picture. Then the next side, like 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like that. So you want to make sure everything's a picture and you're using an action verb and they're touching. And then with those images, you can superimpose exactly the feelings, like the feelings you're talking about, the content, the conception of it. And then let's do one more. Let's imagine the success, the person jumping up and down with the trophy. What could they be doing to, what would reality be for you? What's one tangible item you could see for reality?
Another speaking engagement.
Okay, so as a could you see that as maybe a picture of you standing in front of an audience speaking or at a podium speaking?
Sure.
Okay. So then you would have let's keep it with nouns. Then you would have the trophy, and what could you see the trophy doing to either that picture of you speaking?
That shows the win. That shows that it's
The
accomplished. That shows
action
it
verb, an action verb where the
action
two
verb.
items are actually touching.
That for the trophy would be the action for the trophy would be for me the success is reached. You don't receive the trophy until it's over.
Right, but
So,
what I'm saying is where I'm teaching you the actual technique. I kind of
uh-huh.
jumped in too soon. So the memory system goes one item on the left, another on the right.
Okay.
You link the two by an action verb ending in ing where they're physically touching.
Hmm.
Then you visualize seeing that action occurring where
Okay.
they're touching. And then you recall by re-seeing the picture. So what happens when you re-see the picture, it makes synapses, the little, let's call them tree branches in your brain, uh, shoot out, or the synapse is kind of like, it's like the synapse fires or releases dendrites, or more like little trees in your brain, like brain cells that are multiplying. So the idea is to have, instead of a conception of this is great and I feel good, you would say, I see myself maybe putting on my glasses, or I'm wiping my glasses, making them ready. Then the glasses, instead of a person jumping up and down, maybe you could have the trophy, and the glasses are wearing the trophy and it's dancing because it's so happy it won. Then the
Gotcha.
trophy could what would you see? Oh, then the trophy could actually fall onto the picture of you speaking at the pulpit with an audience. So that's the key to it. That helps with focus, it helps with concentration, it helps to picture things, and then it helps the recall. And then by doing that action over and over again, you're making more synapses fire and you're having more new dendrites grow in your brain.
I see what you're saying because that keys things to remember. And those actions, like you're talking about the INGs, show that action of winning, of achieving in this example, right?
Exactly. And then you can, when you use it for goals, like a lot of times if let's say, so I want to make an A, you know, then you actually would visualize a paper with a big A on it, you know, being handed to you by the teacher if you're a student. Let's say you're an architect and you've got your plans, but you're drafting and laboriously going over the plans. But the thing that keeps you motivated is, oh, I can see this home after it's built. I can see families, kids peeking through the windows. I can see barbecue, steak, being cooked. I see a sprinkler going. And so when you picture things as the end result, it helps you be able to stay on track and stay till the end, the motivation because of the reward that you'll get for doing it.
That's awesome. I like the way you're talking about that. And as you mentioned, that reward that you get for doing it and for remembering it, and your memory, I can also see as the coach, you're also showing people how to pull a better attitude, a
Oh
better
my
thought
God.
process.
Well, that, you're hitting, I'm trying to sit down. I think, can you still see me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, one of the questions that when I was reviewing, you said, how does this help with self-esteem? How does it help with mindset? How does it help with motivation? When when you have success, when you're practicing something, you have success, it makes you feel good and you want to keep going. But I had some last chance kids and they just wanted to be rewarded for showing up. And I taught them the memory system. And I taught them a little something. I said, do you guys know what intrinsic means? And they said, no. And I said, well, for you to be successful and happy, you need to have intrinsic motivation. So think of in a hotel, Trin might remind me for sure of Rin Tin Tin,
Okay.
the dog, and sick, maybe he's getting sick. I said, if you're anyway, I was just using the sound thing. I don't want to confuse people. But bottom line, what happened was I was teaching them the linking method, teaching goals, teaching vocabulary. And within 1 week, they all went up at least one grade level. By 2 weeks, some of them even
Wow.
went up 2 grade levels. That's why I ended up being a consultant because the results were so phenomenal in such a short time. But what happened that one of the teachers noticed is she said, Vicki, not only are they improving their grade, but have you noticed so and so is standing more erect and the kids are somehow being nicer to each other and they're even dressing better? And I thought that's what happens when you feel good about who you are, then you want to match that with better clothes, better behavior, better everything. It's the same concept as beauticians that love making people look beautiful. Because when you look beautiful, you want to feel more beautiful. So if you're looking beautiful, you're not going to want to just eat a greasy spoon something because it would mess up the good looks, so you want to have fresher fruit and more protein, and now I want my skin to look better, now I want my body to look better, so that's really from the practice of this simple thing. um Putting on glasses, dancing with a trophy, the trophy, let's say skipping on the picture of you speaking, just those little simple things, you just made like 30 million new neural branches. So if you
Wow.
practiced it, whether you're using it to remember names and making the names of picture, like Mark, you could see a check mark. Vicky, you could see Vic's cough drops. I have a cat named Isabel. So I think of wasn't it Queen Isabel who gave Columbus the three boats?
Queen Elizabeth. I don't remember.
Oh yeah,
That's
that yeah, I think that was Isabella.
okay.
Elizabeth,
Oh, I
yeah.
do now because it was a boat. You're right. Yes.
So you could make these pictures. So whether you're using it for goals or lists or presentation skills, it's going to stimulate and increase the brain power, and you'll just get stronger and stronger and stronger as you use it and practice it. And then things just start happening that you don't expect. The same as I had a chiropractor one time and he worked out every day. Every day. He said there was a lot of heart issues in his family. So he worked out, worked out, worked out. So from working out, he had good muscle tone, improved his heart. It gave him stamina and strength. And then turned out one day he had a heart attack. And he went to the hospital. He said, I don't understand this. I take care of myself. I wake up early. I have, good life. And they said, well, sometimes it's inherited. And then they said, had he not had such a great body and so much from working out, they wouldn't have been able to save his life. But because he was so strong, they were able to revive him and get him a new heart and or do whatever they needed to do. And he's
Right.
alive and well now. So that's the same thing with this memory system. I started using it and practicing it when I was about 26 years old. When I was and I taught it, all those years consistently with the kids when I was a consultant. And then I started dreaming in color. My reading comprehension improved dramatically. My acting improved. Just there were so many. I started dreaming in color, which I hadn't been able to do before. A lot of people can do that. And then at 42, I got in a terrible car accident. A big rig truck didn't see me and he hit me not once, not twice. He hit me three times. And if I had been
Wow.
in a Volkswagen, I would have been dead. But I was in an AMC Eagle and it totaled the AMC Eagle, which is like an armored tank. And because I had spent 18 years prior to that teaching memory training and growing all these neural branches in my brain, it took me about 6 years to fully recover using the memory system
Wow.
and teaching the memory system to older adults. And because it was pointed out to me by a genius engineer who was 85, he said, you need your own memory system to get better. And you're slow. Old people are slow. Why don't you go teach old people your memory system and they'll get better and you'll get better. And that's what happened. But I think I was able to recover fully, go back to teach, go on to write the book about all this that happened because I had been using it all
That
along.
makes sense. It's like a muscle, isn't it, Vicki?
It's
Actually building a muscle.
yeah, you're building a muscle. And I have a friend named Lynn. She's in New York. I taught her the memory system when she was 65. She's 100 now, and she's still performing.
That is
Every
wonderful.
yeah, so her brain is better at 100 than it was at 95. And part of the change, besides the picture method in memory, really had to do with she got a caregiver who only spoke Russian and she knew Russian. So she would speak Russian morning, noon, and night with this caregiver. So she was getting all this stimulation. And the caregiver made her homemade meals every night. So she had lots of meats and chicken and fresh
Good
vegetables.
food.
This woman is fantastic. She's 100 years old and acts no different than she did at 65.
Excellent.
So that's why I say to people, don't wait till you have a memory problem. Like you wouldn't wait to do leg exercises until you're crippled. You wouldn't do that. You
Good point.
you want to, if you play tennis, you want to run, you want to build up, you want to do push-ups and leg lifts and dumbbells, and then you're going to be even more effective on the court. So this is the same thing. If you start memory training today and you practice it a little bit every day, then you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and better and better and better and better, and you don't have to stop.
Mhm. Well, Vicky, I like what you're saying because as I joked about earlier, I know when I was going through college, I started out in chemical engineering, remembering all these terms and all these math classes that I was having to take and remember all these equations. And for me, it was one of those that when I have a job, I'm going to have these equations in a book. I'm not going to have to memorize all the time. So I didn't put out the effort. But if I would have put out that effort, from what I'm hearing you saying, it probably would have increased my memory not only in remembering those equations and that terminology, but it would be helping to me even today. So as I build that muscle can stay strong, right?
Absolutely. And then it just enhances more and more. Like you get other abilities of the brain. You get intuitive thoughts that come in pictures. Like for example, when I was teaching the kids early on, and I'd had 3 days of teaching and I memorized, 6 different classes of names on the let's say Monday through Wednesday. On Wednesday afternoon, a kid who I'd had Monday sees me in the hallway, and she goes, "Miss, what's my name? Do you remember my name?" And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's see. Look at her face. What's the outstanding characteristic on her face?" Oh yeah, she had big cheeks. I had marshmallows going into her cheeks. She was eating marshmallows. I go, "Marcia?" She's like, "You did that. How'd you do that? That's so good."
Oh,
So
that is.
it was funny. And but I did make a mistake. Yeah, oh, and the other thing was like the first day it took me about 10 minutes to do the 25 kids. The second day it took me 5 minutes. The third day it took me 2 minutes. And then I
Wow.
started getting bored. So then the next group I started memorizing last names, first and last names. And so one kid, his name was Tommy Rowe, and he had really big ears. So I imagined these oars, toms, and they were rowing his ears. And I called him Tommy Orr. And he goes, "No, miss."
Oh.
I went, "I mean Tommy Rowe."
That is amazing. Well, one of the things that I'm hearing you talk about, Vicky, is for me, because there's a lot of things that a lot of us listening today and ones that will listen later, we have so much going on that we just don't try to remember. And I did some research about memory and losing your memory. And a lot of times it's not about losing our memory. It's a lot of what you're talking about, not practicing our memory. And that if it's not important to us, we don't try. And I have the thing that just says, not my issue to remember, but it needs to be because by doing that, from what I'm hearing you talk about, and it makes a lot of sense, if I made some fun into it, if I could see more value that I like to talk about, I probably would improve my memory in no time.
Oh, I mean, it takes an hour. Within an hour, you already have, a system. Within 2 hours, then the pictures start coming. By the third
Okay.
hour, when you're applying it with names of faces and pictures, it's already starting to be automatic. And then I've had people tell me after that, like they said, "Oh, I made my grocery list, and then I used your system, and then I forgot to bring my list to the store." And it worked. I was able to remember the oatmeal
Beautiful.
was falling into the peanut butter was spreading over the cherry pie was uh hopping on eggs, and stuff like that. So even though it looks like frivolous little cartoon things, scientifically, you are strengthening your brain more and more and more and more. And for me, and for those listening who have family members that have gotten dementia or Alzheimer's or
Right.
heart-related issues, a lot of them are scared. They're like, oh my God, this is going to happen to me. I think it's going to happen to me. Well, because I had this memory system, my family, both my mom and dad's side, my grandparents both lost their memories, were struggling with dementia. And I don't have, knock on wood, but I don't have any fear of having dementia because I've now been practicing the system, teaching it 25 years, but I got exposed to it 40 years ago. So there were a 10-year period I was teaching drama, and I was not teaching the memory system, but it changed my fate. I am not going into a nursing home. I'm going to audiences. I'm going to speak. I'm going on
Great
airplanes.
attitude.
I'm going to cultures. And oh, and when I was in foreign countries like Russia, I wanted to make sure I learned thank you and goodbye, So thank you in Russia is spasiba. Spasiba.
Sheba.
You speak Russian, Vicki. Spasiba. And so spa, what would spa remind you of?
Hot tub.
Yeah, perfect. And then the sea, what would you see?
The sea, SEA. We went to the
And
sea.
what could you see the hot tub doing to the sea?
Hot tub doing to the sea, warming it up.
Yeah, it could be pouring into it, exactly,
Yes.
warming it up. And then let's imagine out of the sea is a little buying sheep, and it's so happy it's out of the water. It says thank you.
Ah,
So then it becomes really,
spasiba.
really fun, really, really fun. And so I'm getting excited about wanting to learn new languages, to go to different countries, teach this in different cultures. And so I literally feel like I'm 20 again, and I just turned 70. And since,
Congratulations.
thank you. And since my friend is
Beautiful.
still performing at 100, now I have a new mindset. My mindset is, well, you just do whatever you've always been doing that you love. She's 100 and she's still singing. She's got a
Wow.
pianist. She shares the stage with her granddaughter and her son and another gentleman named Frank who's an opera singer. She eats whatever she wants. She loves corn on the cob. I said, Lynn, you're eating corn on the cob. She said, is that unique? And
Yeah, that,
she's got a social life and she's always going out to dinner and people are coming to see her. And when I go to New York, I always have a visit because it's a role model for me, just a beautiful role model for me. So now when I'm around people 83, 87, I think, oh, they're just kids. They're just kids because they're not 100. So yeah, when you keep up, you get kept up. That's a
when
quote
you
from
keep up, you get kept up.
yeah, that's a
Repeat
quote
that. That's
from Yogi Bhajan.
okay.
Yeah, in yoga class, that's what they would say. So yeah, the bottom line is start today, practice, 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 and you can still be a CEO at 70. You can still be the matriarch or the elder of your family. One of the things, a gentleman who is a freelance reporter, and he used to write for Variety. I think it was Variety, and he said, Vicki, a lot of they're having trouble finding a Falstaff for a Shakespearean play because they need an older person, and they're having trouble finding older actors that can still memorize their lines. So
And they would bring in someone like you to help them through this. Well, is all the things that you're talking about? Maybe hopefully I can tie two things here together. You have your brain sprout memory system. Is this all part of that?
Yeah, I mean, everything that happened to me and all this creativity and stuff. I mean, I was born with certain abilities, but this thing got me to becoming who I wanted to be. So I have hold on one second real quick. So I have, this is called the Brain Sprouts Memory Training Exercise, whoops, Exercise Physiology for the Brain.
Okay.
So it's 12 lessons. It literally holds your hand and takes you through all the lessons. And that's available on my website, brainsproutsmemory.com. And then this is the book.
Brainsproutsmemory.com.
Yes.
Okay.
And then this is
I'll
me
look.
at 3 years old. And this is my grandma Ida, who she died when she was around 73. But when she was around 68, she started having some memory issues and little peculiar kinds of things. And so this is the book called Love Remembers. And in the book, I tell the story of how, I learned the memory system and then I got hit by a big rig truck and what I did to recover. And then I share the stories of the older adults that I was with, some who had dementia, some didn't. A lot of 95-year-olds did not have dementia. And I write, especially in chapter 10 of the book, is why some people get dementia or Alzheimer's from an emotional standpoint, not just physiological at first, and what the keys
I
to
can see
that
that.
are. Yeah, a lot of people, when they go through grief and they don't actively grieve and find some purpose to keep themselves going, will go down. Or there are things they can't face because it's just too painful because their life has changed so dramatically. But in this book, I teach the whole memory program in part 2. And then I also have another program I designed called Passion Quest, finding the work you love, loving the work you do. And it works even if you're not working, but it's really how to redesign your life through visual pictures. So when people retire, if they don't have a new plan, they don't have something to retire to that invigorates them and gets them excited and gets them wanting to participate in life every day, it sadness and discomfort and isolation can do them in.
Hmm?
And so with this, I just think the brain sprouts with the passion quest, then people can continue to have a healthy life and healthy longevity.
And I like the way you say that because what I heard myself thinking as you said that, instead of retire, because some people call that retired, they're just getting tired all over again. For you, when they retire, they rebuild. They work on that memory. They work on their, as you mentioned, their attitude, their desire to do something and to love more about, to find what they love and then love doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
I like
Lynn
how
has
you,
always acted. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, that's it. It's just one of those that it changes our attitude. And too many times, and we talked about culture. That's one of the things that I work with the most is people get out of their culture, past relationships, parents, whatever it may be, but to get out of that culture because that's yesterday. And if we want to move into a better tomorrow, the first thing we've got to do is let those other cultures go, build upon what we have today. And as you're saying, I'm tying two subjects here, but just thought of it. I want to go back. I spent the winter in Mexico a couple years ago. I want to do that again. So when I do that, I'm going to take what you're saying on how to learn Spanish better. I struggled learning when I was there, and this would help me do that. So when I retire, I will rebuild by using some of the things that you're talking about because you put a theoretical fire or another symbol, that fire behind what I'm doing to get me going to start boiling my mind to do more, for it to work better.
Yeah, that and even adding in pictures of yourself, seeing yourself there. So you could see yourself already having the tickets in hand. You could see yourself on the plane, wearing a summery shirt. You could see yourself in a restaurant in Mexico. You could see yourself taking a walk on the beach. You could superimpose these images.
Mhm.
And the other thing I learned, as I say, I've been practicing this for a long, long time. And so now everything is so automatic. And one of the other things you can do too, when I had that car accident, it made me very scared to drive.
I
And
bet.
especially when there's trucks on the freeway and I'm sandwiched in between two of them, I would shake.
Oh. Mhm.
So I still had grad school to finish. And it was about a 50-minute drive. I lived in Toluca Lake at the time, and I was going to graduate school at Antioch that was in Marina Del Rey at the time. So I thought to myself, what can I do? Because I'm freaked out. How do I get to school? I don't want to drop out. I want to be able to achieve. And so what I did is I superimposed seeing myself relaxed in an ocean, just relaxed, laying, feeling the waves, breathing, seeing the sun, feeling the warmth of the sun. And then I superimpose myself in the car driving, feeling the warmth of the sun, feeling that wave, and then see myself parking at the school, seeing myself get into the chair where the classroom was, seeing myself with my diploma that I actually was going to get one. And it reduced the anxiety tremendously, tremendously. And so I realized you can even heal using this method
Mhm.
as you get better and stronger at it. And the other thing you talked about is letting go. When you're letting go of something, again, you can visualize a picture of yourself already doing the thing that you want.
Mhm. I see that, and that's so easy to think about. And of course, for me, it's easy because I already have pictures of Mexico where I want to go back to the restaurants I was in and to do those things. So that's excellent. But Vicki, just quickly, we only have about 8 minutes left. This has gone so fast. Your information is so intriguing in so many ways. It makes me think about what we can do and how we can grow. One of the problems that I even today think about because I see a lot of people that memorize things, but some of the things they memorize, I don't find value in memorizing them. But that doesn't mean we can't use this to memorize what's valuable to us,
Yeah,
right?
you only remember what's important to you.
Well, that's the time that you would go through this exercise. It's a short exercise, it's a fun exercise. But if you want to remember something, how to say thank you in Russian, it's something that you can do and then pull that together.
Yeah, it's really, I love this method, and I used to get bored really easily. I was just always bored as a kid. I have not been bored since I started this. I'm just not bored. And then I play games with friends of mine. Like we were a friend of mine and I were driving up to Bandon and looking at street signs. And so I said, Ophir, what does Ophir remind you of? It's a little town. He said, a gopher. And I said, oh, okay. So let's see a bunch of gophers, coming out of the water, knowing that uh, Ophir is has nice little beaches and stuff. So, and I wanted to share something else too, in one of the little reviewing. The the idea what I want to get across to people is when you can trust yourself, your own intuition, and your heart. Like when my brother, when I got the call that said my brother had COVID and he had 5 days to live,
Oh, wow.
and I was in this little town in Oregon, and the doctors dissuaded me from coming. I said, I want to come, I want to see him. And they were like, no, it's too dangerous. We have 300 people dying a day at Mount Sinai. And I said, look, you
Wow.
don't understand. It's just my brother and me. We don't have any close relatives. Our aunt and uncle are dead. Our parents are dead. This is really important. And then I told him I'd call them back, and I took a walk and I just started visualizing. and I said, first I got the reflection of my brother and me and how close we are in scenes as kids. But then I started seeing images kind of from the memory system. I was like, I see myself packing my bag. I see myself taking the cat to the board and care. I see myself on the plane. I see myself in my brother's room at the hospital. I see him eating. I see him walking. I see him walking out of the hospital. All of these things were just rushing through my brain. So when I got back to my little trailer in Oregon, I called the doctor and I said, I I just want to let you know I'm coming. I didn't ask permission. I said, I'm coming. I just want you to know I understand the danger and I'm willing to accept it. And from that on, then on, I mean, they parted the Red Seas. They weren't letting husbands and wives see each other. They let me see my brother.
Okay.
And I got him nutrition out of his request. It just everything fell into place. Everything. So when you say life, you can't really plan what happens. Well, actually, you can. You can influence possibilities with picture.
Be an influencer. Yes.
Yeah, you really can make things happen. And then after he was saved, a friend called me and said, you have to write a book about this. You have to write a book. He called me 13 weeks in a row until I said, okay, I'll write the book. And then as I was writing the book, I saw the book on the billboard in Times Square. I saw my brother seeing
Wow.
himself on the billboard in
Sure.
Times Square. So then a year and a half later, after the book was published and I hired a PR person, my brother and I were in Times Square together and the thing was on the billboard and he was elated. So, you
How
can't,
beautiful. What a story.
it's so incredible. And what happened too is my leadership skills really got honed. The way I communicated with the doctors and the nurses and the staff, the way I communicated with friends and family and enlightened people to get prayer groups going.
That's
And then
beautiful.
it made me see that this really, it's not memory as rote and repetition. It's memory as creative visualization with connections that improve your brain. And it's really about leadership. If you have a company and you want everyone on board, then make a picture of the end result you want to see happen in that company. And what are the action steps? And see those action steps as pictures and help everybody align with their personal goals as well as company goals. And
That's awesome.
you're going to have what true leaders are, which are motivators, and people are going to get along better because they have a vision together and aligned, and then people can comfortably do what they love and find
That's
their way
awesome.
to
Mhm.
what you want to accomplish. Thank you.
Vicki, that has been so awesome. Thank you so much for those stories. We've run really we're running very late. We'll have a minute or two left. I love your story, but if there is any one key takeaway, we've gone through a lot. You've told us so many things. There's one key takeaway that every person listening today could remember about transforming their minds and empowering their lives. What do you think that would be?
I would say take a moment and write down or draw a picture of yourself at your very best and what you want to see happen. And then every day look at that and commit to it and tell yourself that anything you want to do, you can achieve. You
That
can
is,
achieve. I use the memory system as my way to keep my brain straight and sharp. Other people may use crossword puzzles. That works. Learning a new language works. But this thing, I know, because now the science is out. It
yes,
really does regenerate the brain, and it helps with healthy, normal people to just stay up, stronger and better. But if you have a stroke or a brain injury, dementia or Alzheimer's, it really can help too. I have a modified version of it on YouTube, and it says Tidbits for Alzheimer's, and it's a 43-minute
Beautiful.
talk on how to help people with the memory system.
Vicki, that's awesome. And I hope I can help continue to help you get this information out. We need to start this with kids at the youngest age and start it in elementary schools if we can. Get this information out. It's been a true honor to have you, Vicki Mizel, with us on the Achieving Unity Success Formula podcast today.
I'm
Your
so grateful to
insights,
be here. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Your insights into transforming minds and empowering lives are absolutely captivating. You have over 25 years of experience, and you not only become a nationally recognized expert in memory improvement and brain health, but you're also a powerful advocate for personal growth and self-esteem. And I think you've done that to so many today. The people that will listen to this later, we especially appreciate hearing about your unique brain sprout memory system, how you've helped individuals become happy geniuses. You help us enhance a cognitive function and promoting healing. Your ability to connect with me, with your audiences everywhere, whether discussing mastering memory, finding passion in work, or the transformative power of love and advocacy that you bring forward is simply unparalleled. Your commitment to providing an actionable, which I love the most, takeaway means our listeners will leave not just inspired, but equipped to implement real change, real improvement in their lives. So we're very incredibly grateful for your engaging, thought-provoking, and highly relevant content. It resonates. It's going to resonate long after the podcast ends and other people listen to it. So thank you, Vicki, for sharing
Oh,
your incredible, invaluable wisdom and making this episode an extraordinary experience. Your dedication to empowering others to achieve what many seem impossible truly shines through, and we know our audience will feel the lasting impact of your message. Vicki, I thank you so much in what you do.
my pleasure. Thank you for what a beautiful statement. It makes me feel like I won an Academy Award. You
You
just made me
deserve
feel
it.
really good. Thank you.
You deserve it. Well, in closing, we've gone a little bit over already, but our journey is a powerful reminder that unity begins with what we're talking about today. It begins from within, through self-awareness, through resilience, and that willingness to grow from wherever you are, from an automobile accident, from failures, from whatever it may be. This message perfectly mirrors the Achieving Unity Success Formula, turning chaos into clarity, isolation into inclusion, and broken trust into purposeful collaboration. We must remember that unity isn't just an ideal, it's a daily choice, just like our memory, to lead with empathy, act with integrity, and uplift others along the way. So if you felt to spark it off what I'm saying, if you felt to spark it all about what Vicki brought to us today and sharing, contact me, contact Vicki. Her websites are on the screens. If you can't get hold of Vicki, but you should. And Vicki, what's the best email address URL for people to call you on or find you on?
Um, well, actually, I love phone calls,
Okay.
and I like people to look at the website. So my phone number is 917-547-8822. It's a New York cell phone, but I like the number.
There you
And
go.
my websites are Brain Sprouts Memory, all together, brainsproutsmemory.com. And my new speaker website, which is 95% finished, is I remember Vicki, VICKI.com. I remember
I
Vicki.
remember Vicki. Wow. So impressive. So impressive. Vicki, thank you so much. Because we can stay focused on turning chaos into connection as we continue achieving unity by harnessing that power of encouraging each other, inspiring each other, and including others in building better businesses, better lives, and a better world. Life is what we make it, so let's make it awesome together in unity. Thank you all. Thank you, Vicki Mizel, for your service, your time, and your commitment. And I hope to see you again. Hope to see everyone again next week. Vicki, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. My pleasure.
Till we see you all again. Cheers.